Welcome back to another episode of Matt and Matt Sports. My name is Matty Wills, and my dog DJ Hazmat is somewhere in is it SoFi Stadium? I don't know what the name of that stadium is out there in Los Angeles. He went to the game today. He was not able to join us for halftime. He will not be able to join us for the post-game show either because he can't get a good signal. But it's all good. I take care of you for the next few minutes. We won't stretch this out because it's just me. So Browns obviously losers today in LA in maybe the best NFL game of the season so far. 47-42. The second half was just fireworks. Lead changes all over the place, and the Browns end up on the short end of this one again, 47-42. Um, I'm going to go over some stats, but I really want to hear from you all. How do you feel about Baker's bounce back in this game? He looked a lot better. Injuries, really. I mean, that will be the story for this week as we talk about what went wrong in this game. I mean, Denzel Ward goes out in the first quarter. Myles Garrett clearly dinged up all game. Jadeveon Clowney couldn't play today. Tack McKinley played hurt. Greedy Williams suffered an injury there in the fourth quarter. I could probably name a few more. I know Harrison, the safety, was dinged up in that game as well. So injuries definitely a big storyline in today's game. But again, really only matters when you count in wins and losses. And the Browns did not look great down the stretch. Now, I will say this. I'll be a little bit critical of the coaching on the Browns' last possession. We get the ball back, right? They missed the extra point. So the Browns have a 42-41 lead with the ball, about 2.5 minutes left in the game. All we need is about 2 touchdowns. You figure they got 3 timeouts plus a 2-minute warning. If we can get 2 touchdowns, milk their timeouts, we can milk the rest of the clock. So I didn't really understand. First down, handoff to Hunt, goes nowhere. 2nd and 10, Mayfield drops back to pass. He did look better today. He was completing more of his passes. I'll get into his stats in just a little bit. But 2nd and 10, we decide to throw it. Didn't really understand that call. Incomplete pass saves them a timeout, right? So now it's 3rd and 10, and you need a first down because the only way that you can salt this game away is by keeping the ball and keep getting first downs. And we called a draw play, a run to Hunt on 3rd and long. Didn't really understand that play call. It didn't work. Gave the ball back. And, you give the ball back to a kid who you haven't stopped all game and he only needs 1 point. I didn't really understand the logic in that play calling down the stretch. But, again, tough loss for the Browns. Won last week on the road. Lost today on the road. It is what it is. Browns had a great opportunity, again, also because Cincinnati lost today to the Packers. Probably should have won their game. But that's a team that we were tied with in first place in the AFC North. Now we have to wait on the Ravens game as they play a very winnable game. I think it's against the Indianapolis Colts, where they may have sole possession of first place after that game. Let's get to some of these comments. More tough loss, but very competitive game. Kept me in front of the tube. Chubb and Hunt were on fire. Absolutely, I agree with everything you said right there. I'll also just say that, Chubb and Hunt were so on fire. I'm not sure why Chubb was on the sideline the last time we got the damn ball, man. We got the ball back. All we need is a couple first downs. And Nick Chubb is not even in the game. Didn't understand that. Coach will have to answer to that, but it is what it is. Mike Gibson checks in. Matty, man, what a heartbreaker. That pass interference call when Chargers went for it on 4th down was nonsense. Completely agree with you there. Should have been offensive interference. Williams, I think his first name is Mike, definitely was all over Greedy Williams on the sideline there. Just heartbreaking. See you next week. Go Browns. We'll definitely see you next week and definitely go Browns. Tracy checks in as well. I didn't watch, but they still score. So we appreciate the Browns, I would say, appreciate you watching. But yeah, man, it was a tough loss considering you had the lead most of the game. I know it was kind of back and forth in that second half, but you go into halftime with the lead. You got the lead in the fourth quarter. You got the lead and the ball with 2.5 minutes left in the game. You expect to win those games. This is going to be a tough one to live with. The mystery Browns fan won. We were so close for 4-1, but It was messed up. Yeah, I agree. They botched it. They botched it. They botched it down the stretch. But you know what? What is encouraging about that is we put up 41 points and we didn't have what some people say maybe our best wide receiver. I'll consider him our second best at bare minimum. Jarvis Landry is still out with that injury. He's on the IR. I think he has to miss at least one more game. It'll be nice to get him back. The Cleveland Browns open today as your leading rushing team in the NFL. They'll certainly close the day with that as well. I'll get to a couple of stats real quick. Baker, I mean, we all lamented how terrible he was last week, right? Well, he bounced back this week. Started 9 of 10, should have been 10 of 10. Started 9 of 10, finished 23 of 32 with 2 touchdowns, no turnovers for Baker Mayfield. So, I mean, he played as well as you could hope for him to play. Tracy, I think, commented, or somebody commented on the running backs. Nick Chubb, 21 carries, 161 yards. Again, not on the field on the Browns' last possession. Don't totally understand that. The man had over 7 yards a carry, which is absolutely insane. Kareem Hunt, also 12 carries for 61 yards, had 2 touchdowns on the ground. I guess you would give the game ball. I guess if we won, we would give out a game ball. But since we lost, it's just honorary mention. But David Njoku, how great did he play today? 7 catches, 149 yards, had a touchdown, had the go-ahead touchdown there in the fourth quarter. I mean, he just balled. He looked like the guy that we thought we were getting when we drafted him several years ago. I'm glad that he's still in a brown and orange uniform. And, the elephant in the room, Odell Beckham Jr., subpar performance, 2 catches, 20 yards, 3 targets, only 3 targets for Odell Beckham Jr. I have to say, every single week that I watch the Browns play, it just seems like we'll probably have Odell for this year, and that'll be it. I'm not saying I want him gone. I don't want him gone, but it just doesn't – I don't know why it's such a tough task to get that man the ball. You watch other teams, their primary wide receivers get the ball. Devontae Adams in the Bengals game, he's the number 1 wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers in the Green Bay Packers, had like 7 catches for 200 yards today because he's their best offensive weapon. So they make several attempts to get him the football. So I'm not exactly sure what the chemistry connection issue is between Odell Beckham and Baker Mayfield, but 2 catches today, that ain't going to get it done, man. Several injuries, and me and Haz will be able to break this down a little bit more once we have the actual information in front of us. But, I mean, I lamented it at the beginning of this. Denzel Ward goes down at the beginning of the first quarter with a neck injury. Hopefully we don't miss him for too long. Greedy Williams, who just is fighting himself back into the lineup from being injured, suffered another injury in the fourth quarter. So a bunch of injuries today. Hopefully Myles Garrett doesn't miss any time. Jadeveon Clowney, again, that was a big miss for him up there as well. Just think about this. Think about how many times the Browns defensive line was able to move Justin Herbert, was able to move the quarterback for the Los Angeles Chargers. Think about how many times he was running and scrambling for his life. Now, he still made great plays coming off of those instances. But if you get Clowney out there, your other former number 1 overall pick, edge rusher, maybe the game plays out just a little bit differently. But as it stands, Browns losers today, and just going to have to bounce back from that. Now, if you missed it before, my dog, DJ Hazmat, in LA, and he did not have a good signal. So he didn't join us for halftime. He wasn't able to join us for postgame, but best believe he'll definitely be in line with us next week. And yeah, Jamal, we can run those predictions real quick. Me and Haz make our weekly predictions. We say who we think will win for the Thursday night game, the Sunday night game, the Monday night game, and then, of course, the Browns game. We both had the Browns winning over the Chargers. We both lost that. I lost the Thursday night game. Wow, I'm glad Haz isn't here to make me feel bad for this. I picked the Seahawks and Sierra's husband in Thursday night football. They got shellacked. The Rams won that game, so Haz won that one. I took the Chiefs over the Bills, which is your night game, which is going to be they got a tough act to follow with this night game. That's usually one of the better games of the week, but this Browns-Chargers game, people are going to be talking about this one for a long time. I chose the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes tonight over the Bills, so maybe I can make up some ground over Haz, who went with the Bills, who a lot of people think will represent the AFC in the Super Bowl this year. And then, of course, we roll with the Baltimore Ravens on Monday Night Football. So, you know, tough game for the Browns today. Tough game for my picks today, both in that graphic we just showed and in my betting games that I did. And it's been a rough weekend. So I'm going to go ahead and eat some dinner. You know what I'm saying? Maybe have a little bit more of that cognac that I had during the game. And we will hope that has a much better connection next weekend. I trust that he will. I assume that he'll be at home. I know Has stays on tour. And we'll get back to it, man. If I can just I thought that I had this information handy, but I do want to just give you guys a little preview for next week. So, oh Lord, we got a big game next weekend against the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals won today. They played against a rookie quarterback in Trey Lance, who had to play in relief of Jimmy Garoppolo, who's always hurt. But Arizona's going to come to Cleveland with a 5-0 record. Now, they didn't put up a ton of points today, so maybe the Browns defense can look at some of the things that San Francisco was able to do in this game and limit them offensively. But DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, those guys are some dogs. They come to Cleveland next weekend and will definitely be on same time. Halftime, post game should be a 1 o'clock start. So we'll definitely wrap with you guys next week. Again, I said this at halftime. If you guys are friends with Has on any social media, drop him a comment, shoot him a DM, just let him know that he was sorely missed and he made me do this all by myself. So I'm gonna give him some help for that. But that's all I got for you, man. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. I appreciate everybody that dropped a comment. And don't forget, next weekend we will be back for halftime and post game for the Browns versus the Arizona Cardinals at First Energy Stadium. Finally come back home, get some home cooking. The Browns been on the road these past couple of weeks. And yeah, it is what it is, man. So go Browns. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you soon. Peace.